Ardath Whynacht is the author of Insurgent Love, Abolition and Domestic Homicide, a finalist for the Atlantic Book Award for Scholarly Writing. Please describe your book in one sentence.
One sentence. I would say that domestic homicide is absolutely preventable, but only if we move away from police, prosecution, and punishment as our primary means of trying to ensure safety from domestic violence.
What was the most challenging part of writing this book?
Writing about violence is always challenging. Experiencing violence is challenging. So I would say definitely the feelings. The feelings are the hardest part. And I try to let myself feel when writing about violence and not be hyper intellectual or abstract. But you have to walk a fine line between feeling the feelings and holding your story and the stories of others in all of its entirety, but also trying to not get sucked down into the rabbit hole of grief and pain and loss.
What is the single most important thing you learned researching and writing it?
The book is a bit of a punctuation mark on 20 years of work in the domestic violence sector. But I think the most important thing for me as a writer and as an academic was I learned about books. So I was a spoken word poet before becoming an academic and doing my PhD. And I really adore dialogue and I adore performance and lectures and having conversations about important things in rooms full of people who can react with body language or, jump up on the mic and say what they have to say too. And writing a book felt very authoritarian to me. It felt very disconnected from ways of teaching and learning that I'm used to. But I learned that books really move through time and space differently. And they travel in ways that I never could or I wouldn't think to as someone engaging in community conversation. And they really allow for an intimate connection across time and space with readers that I never would have expected to pick up the book in places that I had never even heard of.
What do your readers most often say to you about this work?
I'm contacted a lot by survivors, either survivors who came out of a very dangerous violent relationship or surviving family members or friends of folks who were killed by their partners or their parents. And, I think that the book itself is a little bit messy. And I think that messiness has been validating for folks who have been really grappling with at times very conflicting emotions about how to heal and what does justice look like. And some of it can feel very incoherent. And sometimes it's always incoherent, no matter what we try to do. And so I've heard from a lot of folks that messiness felt validating and affirming to what they were feeling. And that makes me happy.
And what does it mean for you to be on this shortlist?
Oh my goodness, it's very humbling. I'm in excellent company on the shortlist with authors that I admire and look up to. So there's that. And I think that, abolitionist thought and abolitionist feminist thinking is often seen as a really radical or fringe set of ideas. And for the book to be recognized in this way on the shortlist tells me that there's a growing public acceptance for more imaginative or transformative responses to social problems. And that makes me feel very hopeful. And I rarely feel hopeful when I'm writing about violence, but I'm really happy that it was considered good enough to be on the list.
Ardath Whynacht, thank you so much for doing this and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Hope to see you at the gala.